I think that having mental health psychoeducation on social media is changing the game. I think that having this accessible and having it for free is going to create a better community, a better society, a better understanding of who we are as human beings and how we actually function so that we can lead the best life that we possibly can.
Quick PSA from a licensed therapist. Stop giving away serotonin to people that only give you stress.
Mental health information is complicated, and people need this information in a non-complicated way. And I think that using the no BS platform in the way that I'm using it is touching people and communities that don't want the sterile or the rigid clinician or that mode of delivering education. So I'm reaching a population that other people haven't reached before. And I'm reaching people who are now more open to mental health because they see someone like me and what I look like and the way that I talk. And it's encouraging them that healing is possible. The experience has been absolutely incredible. My own journey of mental health had a lot to do with hiding who I really was and trying to fit into a box. And a lot of therapists fit into a box. And so being a sort of out of the box therapist has not only helped me affirm that I can be who I am in my life, but it's also confirmed to other therapists that they can be more themselves, which are some incredible messages that I receive, and that the people that are digesting my content can be themselves too, and that's not going to hold them back from success. The younger generations are absolutely more open to having conversations about mental health because it's been pushed under the rug for far too long. And I think that with social media, we've been able to make more connections towards the things that we don't like about ourselves and the world, and how mental health or the lack of mental health is a huge contributor to those. The younger generations want to make change, and they're wrapped up in their own minds and their own bodies, and they know that that's the first place to start. I do think that social media is reducing stigma when it comes to mental health. The conversations on social media are significantly more relatable, more accessible, and more digestible at this point. To curate a positive social media experience, there's usually 4 tips that I give people. The first one starts with setting intentions for your use. Everyone's on social media. So if you just download social media and start scrolling through the feeds with no intentional use, then you're going to get wrapped up in following people that make you feel bad about yourself. So the first thing is to figure out, why are you using it? To connect with family, to connect with friends, for baking recipes, for psychoeducation on mental health. Knowing the purpose for you being on social media is going to help you gain control over what it is that you actually see. The second one would be to curate your own experience. So there's a reason why these platforms have things like unfollow, not interested, report, or mute, so that you can actually curate your experience, because these platforms have algorithms. And if you spend a significant amount of time looking at something that makes you feel bad about yourself, the algorithm doesn't know that's how you feel. And so you have to inform the algorithm how this made you feel so that it can eliminate actually continuing to show you this information, but you have to do that on your own. You need to guard your following and you need to guard your heart. So when you're posting on social media on a public platform, for example, you have to know who's following you and what they're making you feel about what it is that you're posting. Can you be genuine in what you're posting? And if you can't be because you have a public platform, then perhaps make it private and again, guard your following. And if you do have a public platform, then guard your heart. And the last thing I would say is to not stay stagnant. Often when we are on our phones on social media, we are sitting on our couch, we're laying in bed, we're in the car when we shouldn't be, and we're not moving our bodies, and we're not actually connecting with human beings. And so social media is a great way to connect with people, but we are born and created to connect with people in person. So keeping in mind that you need to get yourself out there, and social media isn't the only way to connect. So when you are using social media, you're usually sitting still. And often the content that you're seeing is making you feel either tense or perhaps it's making you feel calm. Doing a quick 60-second body scan can be really helpful for you to figure out how your body's responding to your social media use. So my goal in session, if I was working with a client, would be to start by not having them be on social media and check in with the body. So starting from the top of the head, making the way down to the face, the neck, the shoulders, both arms, the stomach area, the hip area, down through the legs and down to the feet. First, we would initially check in with how is our body in the moment prior to social media use. Then I would have the client use social media for about 10 to 15 minutes, which is probably significantly shorter than they're actually using it, but it's enough time for the body to have some type of response. So following the social media use, we would redo that body scan starting from the top and going down as well. So again, from the head to the face, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, the hips, the legs, and down to the feet. The goal here would be to see if there's any tension. And often there will be tension if you haven't already curated your feed. And so maybe you saw a body image that you want to achieve, but you haven't been able to. And maybe you are sucking in your stomach more now. Maybe you saw a heavy post that wasn't a helpful mental health post, but instead it was a harmful mental health post. So maybe somebody sharing about their emotions without any tips or takeaways. And so maybe your shoulders are getting tense or your chest is feeling a little tight. And reviewing what's going on for your body after you use social media is going to help teach you what social media is actually teaching you and allow you to make the changes that you need to so that your use isn't actually affecting your physiology and your mind.